Yes, my sports to the bone people. Another live show, another live show. Yes, my people. Quite a few things to discuss surrounding West Indies cricket. Why I tell you, our cricket is not in a good place right now. But you know how we like to do it over here. Still like to come on and have some, have a little conversation. Just provide a platform for everyone to come and share their opinion. So in today's live, we're going to be focusing on the recently concluded test series against Australia. We lost that series 3-0, the third and final game, which was in Jamaica. We lost that one real badly, my people. Lost that game, I tell you, boy. So we're going to be talking about those games, the third one plus the first and the second. We're also going to be zooming in on the T20 squad. Yeah, man, remember we're set to play 5 T20 games. So we will take a look at, the squad and see what's up. But I can imagine people are still boiling inside. We didn't give a good account of ourselves with the bat throughout the series. Tough. But you know how we do it as they like to call it, die-hearted fans. We will still support the team, but just as though we support them and big them up when things are going well, I think as loyal supporters, when we see things going wrong, we should be able to call it out, right? The issue with us calling it out as a people is the fact that, we are, the team is selected from different parts of the Caribbean. So we'll always have people talking about who is being unfair and who is being, who is calling out people because they are from certain place. Talking about that, a very huge statement was made by the head of CWI. I mean, I said the head is the president, he's not the CEO, but he's the head, right? Dr. Shallow, man, said that Sammy is only being criticized because he's from St. Lucia. I posted a video talking about that this morning, and the comments have been really wild, if you want me to put it that way. Some people saying, boy, president should have gone about it a little bit differently. Some people saying they agree. Some go as far as to say that it is true. People are only fighting against Sammy because they don't want him there. So, boy, I tell you, my viewers and subscribers, really tough times, But as we go through this little period, well, we have been going through it for a while now. I am just hoping that as fans, we still can, have civilized conversations in the comment section. I don't know about other platforms, other channels. I don't know about other places, but this, before we even go down further, before I even start reading the comments, I don't know about other people's channel or other people's platform, but over here, we like to do things civilized. So we can agree, disagree, have conversations, have debate in the comment section. But if you say something that is, really tearing down a man's character, or you're attacking people in the comment section, you will realize that you can hear my videos, but you're unable to see any comment if you post them, right? In the future. That would simply mean that I remove you from the spot, from the area that you're able to make comments. Basically, you get blocked. Right, so I'm going to say this again. Doesn't matter how heated the debate get over here. We like debates. We don't like when people just say, yes, man. We are all going to have our own opinions. But as I said, we try to keep the platform, we try to keep the channel in a way where it's not as toxic as some of the groups that you will see on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and them places, right? Because this is a place where we have different class and caliber people, right? So we respect everybody's opinion. We like when people talk with each other and debate and all of that. But once you start going down a certain route, you will realize that you can hear the content, but you cannot post. All right. So he that has an ear to hear, let him hear. All right. Blessings, everybody, again. Blessings. All right. We have a couple of people in Real TV. Bless up. Gambino, big up. Boy, most things are right, we have live, so most things are right. Lois, we're there. Johnny, watching from St. Lucia. What say you, Johnny? Do you think that as the lead, as the head coach slash head of selecting committee, if there's one, Sammy should shoulder some amount of blame? Or do you think that it is all because he's from St. Lucia while they are doing him this? You being from St. Lucia, let me hear. In case you haven't heard me say this, everyone in the comment section, I personally don't believe you can sack a man after his first test series, right? It's a humiliating defeat, but if you really and truly believe that you have something building, talking about CWI now, I don't see how you would get up and sack the coach because of one series. And it's really funny how people will say that we're looking excuses and all of that, but I don't see anybody saying anything about the bowling. Obviously, the bowlers have been there for a little while. They have been producing, performing. Some will say it's because of the bowl call that Coach Sammy made, to replace some of the batsmen while we lost like that. But, he's still the man that is guiding the bowling group, which is, led by Ravi Rampal, but Sammy is the head. So, I think we still can give him a little bit of credit for that. So I personally don't know how you axe a man or sack a man after one test series, but let me know. Blessings, Sheldon. Blessings. Well, I stopped back. I stopped back. West Indies is no good, and that is what I would say, boy. I see a few people saying they stop backing them and they are not watching them and they are no good and this and that. Then don't waste your time surrounding anything that has to do with West Indies cricket. that is how I see it. Bless up, Sheldon Smith. Bless up. All right. When the T20 starting, I think the first one is on let me see. The first one is on Sunday, right? The first one is on Sunday in Jamaica, right? At 8 p.m. Sunday is the first one. The second one will be on Tuesday. So Sunday and then Tuesday, right? I am a big Sammy fan, but I personally believe that the test team was doing well under Andre Kohli and he should have been left with that team, but you can sack a man after 3 games. Exactly. when I said this about Andre Kohli, the usual people, some people in the comment section, boy, make it clear that it's because I'm from Jamaica and Kohli is from Jamaica why I'm saying this. But if we're going to go regionally, if they're talking about qualification, people who has been there at different levels of West Indies cricket, serving at different levels when it comes on to coaching, managing and all of that, Andre Kohli is the man. Quite a few of the players who are, performing now and some who aren't performing, they would have passed through his hands at the high performance center, somewhere at the youth level, right? I said this when Sammy got the job. I personally didn't think that he was the right man to get the red ball team, but he got it. So, I am going to support the coach, of course. But I still have my same opinions and stuff. I was like, well, he took over the white ball team, did pretty well, especially where T20 cricket is concerned. ODI, not so much, right? So I was like, okay, let's give him some time and see how things will go. T20 is different from tests, right? And if you're the all format coach, I don't know how I don't know how you spend enough time with everybody and thing, right? But I don't see how you sack a man after the first series, Wrong 11 play. Why so much bowlers and less batters? Personally, I don't think that whoever we put in that playing 11, we probably wouldn't have won. But, I have been saying it throughout the series that, they got the playing 11 wrong in my opinion. But, nothing to do with coach. West Indies do not have talent as before. Simple. Yeah, man. The talent pool is not as wide as before, Alan. You're right. The talent pool is not as wide. The guys who are actually gifted and, technically, you could say that you could improve on their technique and get them to perform at the test level. They are not really buying into test cricket. You understand? But at the same time, it is just how organizations go. You still have to find a way. You still have to hold somebody accountable. There are issues and there are things that will hamper the coach from doing his job, yes, but after a period of time, you still have to look at the coach. You need to come CPL to kind of get some good vibes. Well, I am not as free as I once was, right? So that's probably not going to happen. And CPL starts when in August. I am pretty free right now, but August I am back at work, right? School reopens in August, so I am back at work. So I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to watch a lot of the games and the watch-alongs and stuff like that. Prior to me starting YouTube channel, when I was in Jamaica, I went to a whole lot of games at Sabina Park, right? But these days, my life is structured a different way, right? I have said to people that I am a cricket fan that just come on YouTube and talk about cricket and other sports. I am not a YouTuber. I'm not a blogger. I am not any of these things, right? I'm just a cricket fan that come and talk about it. So, I won't put my actual job on the back burner to travel and up and down behind the cricket. Life isn't structured that way right now. Things look funny when you have no qualifications and get a job, getting unlimited power along with it. You are right, Sheldon. You are right. Sometimes you'll have people who they have performed at the international level, and they say give them a chance and it might work. But you are right. It definitely looks really bad when you don't have the qualification and things look as if it's not turning around. But as I said, we all enjoyed how the T20 team was moving forward. So let's give him a little bit more time. I still don't buy this thing of just picking players because you think they can just play test cricket and just put them in the team. I don't buy that. That is where I blame him. I really don't buy it. I bought them all year's disappointment. I think he's saying back. Okay. All right. Guyana team will do far better on West Indies team. And that is something that we don't do over here. Okay. I don't know if you are new, but this is one platform that we don't do that over here. All right. When it is 4-day regional championship, when it is Super 50, when it is CPL and we're going country versus country or franchise versus franchise, we do that. But this thing about, splitting up or talking about which country could outperform the other, could outperform West Indies, we not do it over here. So, you understand? This is not me being disrespectful or anything, but this is one of the reasons why I'm probably not as popular as I could be. I will tell you as it is. We don't really do that over here. That thing I'm talking about, if we pull apart, Guyana can take on everybody else in the West Indies team and beat them. Jamaica can take on everybody else in the West Indies team and beat. We not do that over here, so we not do that. Man, we not do that. Who are the players for the T20? Will Hetty play? The man was on fire last night. Hetmeyer's in the plane is in the squad. I don't know how the playing 11 will go as yet. I'm gonna go through the squad as soon as I finish reading some of these comments. I will go through the squad. I would imagine though that he will probably have a bigger role to play now with Nicholas Pooran being retired from international cricket. I would assume that Sheffield and Rutherford will be the one to really step up, and then Hetmeyer will probably bat one place higher than he's been batting, right? So we will talk about the squad a little further down. I'm blaming the pitch curators too. What you say, Andre? Tell me, you're blaming the pitch? Jaja. I don't know. But the players have been saying that it was the best pitch. I mean, I heard Pat Cummins, Mitchell Stark, and these guys saying that it was probably the best pitch. It was a pink ball. I see the Australian coach coming out and saying that it was difficult, to bat with the pink ball. But in terms of the pitch, I don't know if there were a lot of devils in the pitch. Sports and Bone, big up. Fear be bold for 27. We beat Australia in their yard, but Sammy come with his brand and roll. Yeah, as I said, agree with a lot of what he's doing, but let us see. I still believe Russell should play more T20. He will play more T20, just franchise. Big up everybody, Sports at the Bone since 2020 and going strong. Nelson, blessing man, you've been around for a long, long, long time. My bro, true, he will get blamed, but that is the game. Take 10 balls to get a team out. You know the game. Yeah, man. Yeah. So what time is the game on Sunday? So the game on Sunday is 8 p.m. Jamaica time, right? 8 p.m. Jamaica time, is the first game. Good night. I'm a supporter of the West Indies team from Grenada. Wherever the team plays, I always watch, win or lose. I'm a West Indies fan. All right, Albert. All right. I think Kohli was hard done by. I also find Sammy was taking a big risk to make drastic changes so quickly. I think it's harsh for a cause for Sammy to be sacked so quickly. He didn't start the decline. Exactly, Steve. I mean, some of the decisions that he made, and now that we're hearing that, he's the obviously they say they have talent identifiers and people that will recommend talent, but they don't have this a selecting committee or anything like that these days, it seems. So people definitely look in his direction to say, boy, he's the head coach and he's the man selecting the guys. So, the decisions that weren't good, he has to be held accountable. But as I said, I personally don't know how you sack a man after one series, Good night, Sammy. Pick the around team. All right. If any country didn't need West Indies, they would have already gone out there in their own as an international team. Yeah, I really and truly don't like it. I personally believe we're stronger together. There are things that we should fix and we need to fix, but I think that we're stronger together. If we can find a way to get the best players from the region playing, then we can probably give a good account of ourselves. Back in the days, it was the same West Indies. We had the best from different parts of the Caribbean playing, but now we have. I mean, sometimes it would appear as if people are being selected based on favoritism. So I can understand fans being really, feeling upset and thing. Sir Clive Lloyd, first statement was a total odds with Sammy, but in time is important. You heard it, Sheldon. You heard the video that I did this morning. Yeah, man, Sir Clive Lloyd said that, listen, we have to find a way to dig in, value wicket and bat time. I mean, Sammy is not saying that the guys should not bat time because according to him, he wants his team to bat 150 overs, but they need to be scoring at a fast rate. I don't know if we have anybody good enough to do that. You understand? I don't know. But Sir Clive Lloyd is right. He's right. I gave you guys the example this morning. England said that they're buzz ball, right? They said that they're buzz ball. The last test that they just played against India, the guys were out there in the middle just trying to survive, and you see them end up winning the game. You understand? So I don't know if we are good enough to talk about they need to bat time. That is how Test cricket go. But the batting, we know the batting isn't good, man. Why are we acting like we didn't expect this? I mean, we probably expected to lose or run, but we probably didn't expect to get bowled out for 27. I guess that is the main issue. I personally only see 3 world-class players in the test team, or 3 good test players. Unfortunately, I've said it on the live. Shamar Joseph, Alzar Joseph, Jaden Seals, and if we can get Justin Graves to work on his batting, he's doing a good work. He's doing some good work with the ball. If we can get him to work on his batting, then he will be that all-rounder. But we don't have anybody else we don't have anybody else outside of the bowlers. See, batsmen them rank 50 and 80 and 80 than them something there. We know that they're not good, but getting bowled out for 27 is a whole different ballgame. Yes, whoever had bat first on that pitch would have won. Yeah, and like I said, I don't have a problem with losing. My problem is how you lose. And when you are batting, for example, we got an opportunity to bat in the day. You understand? In the second innings, and when we lost the wickets, when they lost the first wicket. Campbell got a good one. Then Anderson did crap. One name Brandon King come down and do the same and do crap also. You understand? The captain Raston Chase crap. So it's just some of the shots that are being played. Hetty only fire in those leagues. He's likely to play in the first T20. So let us see. Guyana Amazon Warriors, they are in the finals. I really and truly wanted to follow the Global Super League some more, but it so happened that it was going on. It's going on when Test series is done now, but we had games being played while that was going on, so I couldn't really keep up to date. But they are in the finals. Sports to the Bone. I am from Dominica, so I may have to go. Says David. So let me ask you a question, David. Do you give him any credit for how the bowlers are performing? Do you give him any credit? Are you saying that he needs to go as test coach or overall? Are you saying that he needs to go overall, white ball and red ball, or as test coach, David? All format coach, not good for West Indies given our struggles, especially in tests. I don't like it. I really and truly don't like it, Andre. I don't like it, hold on. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. The team that went to Australia is a better team than this one. And those guys that went to Australia have been playing red ball cricket. You understand? They might not look as pretty or look as flashy. But what we need to understand, some of these guys that would bring in from the ODI team, and saying that boy they are going to do this and do that theoretically. If you look, some of them not even doing anything in the ODIs, They're not even doing anything in the ODIs. We are ranked at 10 if I'm not mistaken. What time is the game on Sunday? I think I answered that one a little earlier. 8 p.m. Jamaica time. Hetty, Fabian Allen last night for 32 runs. He had 350s recently, MLC League, so he getting back in some form. That is good. That is good. We'll see how it goes on Sunday. I have always been a big supporter of Hitman, but I've said it on here recently that boy, my days of tearing down everything to try and find a way to make sure that Hitmaya is good. Those days are behind me. Obviously, I want him to perform. He's a senior player now, so I want him to step up. But my days of trying to, boy, I just want him to score runs. To be honest, I just want him to score runs. First, let's give the guys some credit for bowling out Australia in every innings, which shows that the bowling is up top for now. So what we like to see is the batsmen. Yeah, man, Albert, we have been sending shout out to the bowlers, man. We have been sending shout out to the bowlers. It's just that, the batting, as I said, definitely needs to step up. I know the issues are with the batting, but I think King should be kept around the test team. Hope as well, but he needs to tighten up his game. He had the talent. What they need to do, as much as it's not a lot, all of those guys that they bring in and say that they're going to change the game and this is how they're going to play roles, all of them need to go play 4-day regional cricket and learn to bat 2 days. 4-day regional championship it's not like it doesn't equal to what you will find at the international level. So, some might say that, boy, them going and play doesn't mean they're going to perform, but at least it might help with their temperament a little bit. You understand? Learn to occupy the crease and things like that. All of them need to go and play. All of them need to go play 4-day regional cricket. Them need to go play. That's what they need to do. Tomorrow night is the final with in the Global Super League. All right. We're not the first team Australia out for under 50 before I saw the better India lineup suffer this. And I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less about all of those other teams. We did madness, and there are things that needs to be fixed, and we're identifying them. I 100% can guarantee you that when India got bowled out for whatever, their fans and coaches and former players were doing the same thing. They were looking at the issues, looking at what went wrong and what needs to be fixed. So, we have to identify and talk about it. Sometimes whenever we lose, people will say that, boy, look at the positives. That's not how sports work. That's not how sports work. You understand? And if that was how sports work, even the captain and the coaches, after a game, you wouldn't hear them come out and say, boy, we need to improve on this and we need to improve on that. It's the same thing that we're doing here. You understand? We know that Australia is obviously better than us, but some stuff that happened in that game, schoolboy behavior. What about Kevin Hodge, Joshua De Silva, and those others? Well, they didn't fit into Darren Sammy's plan. That's what happened to them. They didn't fit in his plan. Remember, they were a part of his squad. You know, they they didn't fit in his squad. You know, man said that he's not finished with them. You would realize that they played against us in the South Africa A series that we had not much long, right? Sammy is not the problem. Maybe with some of the selectors, the guys just don't have the basics and dedication. Delroy, so this is the thing. Sammy is not the overall problem. We have been facing these issues for years. So we understand that we can't just put him under the bus like that. But being the head coach and the man who apparently is selecting the players, bringing in people like that, you have to say that, you have to talk about it. You have to talk about it and wonder if it was the right decision. According to Sammy, they are looking to emulate the top teams around the world in terms of identifying roles for players and getting them to play. But what they don't understand, there is no team in the world that is going to go and pick up players from out of T20 or ODIs and just drop them in the test team. Even if they are doing that, you would have to look at their first class cricket. Look at their first class record. Them have a whole lot of a red ball game behind them. You understand? And the team, I see that they are performing in ODIs and say, all right, let's switch them over and try them in tests. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I know what you're talking about. I would like to know the qualifications and job description for the position of West Indies test batting coach so I can send in my CV, because Reefa not cutting it. And I mean, I don't know if Reefa, so that's the thing again. Remember, we had this guy from India and it was the same problem. It's a whole lot of issues, man. I just as how, sometimes we might say that, boy, these guys weren't good cricketers, so they are not good coaches. If that was the case, a lot of us, we haven't played at international level, so that would mean we shouldn't know anything about the game, right? So I don't know. I don't know what they have said is that to coach at the international level or whenever they are advertising the job for coaching, West Indies team, they say you need a level 3 certificate. I know for sure that you have to do foundation. You have to do the foundation cricket course, right? If you are from the Caribbean and you go to I would say, for example, GC Foster College, right? You and your major in cricket. Cricket is your major. You would do the foundation course there, and then your whoever your governing body is in your country, then you can do the level 1 there, and then I guess you step up to level 2, level 3, right? I guess you need a level 3, so you can probably get those out the way and then send in your papers. Sammy don't know what he's doing. One man can't do all that work. Can you tell me what brand of cricket West Indies is playing? And that's the thing. That's the thing. The guys who hire him, I don't know how they they say they are working with a new model that is going to transform our cricket. And I don't know. You have one person really doing all of that. Watching everything and identifying players, and I really don't know. I am so glad Talawa coming back to the CPL. Yeah, man, it's probably going to be next year, not this year. Based on what the Minister of Sports in Jamaica is saying, Babsy Grange, it's probably going to be next year. I wish Hetty can get back to Test cricket. I think if he gets it right, it will help with his temperament in the shorter format and help his game. And he knows what to do. He knows what to do to get back, right? All of them know what to do to get back. We are just not good enough. Our system is no good. There is no structure to produce any high quality batsman. Yeah. As I said, we need to start from the grassroots level, come up through the primary school, high school, feeding into the under 19, coming straight up, right? But our system has always not been the highest, but players are probably not as focused these days on really carving out a career for themselves at the international level. So, that is something that contributes to that also. West Indies fans are known for their cricket knowledge and passion. Having witnessed greatest firsthand, Dr. Shallow's comments insulted purists and now they're calling for him to go. Yeah, I see a lot of people posting that he was right to say that. What I would say that as fans, sometimes we can come on and say these things, but even if he thinks that way, in my opinion, I said it this morning in the video, in my opinion, as the leader of of CWI, that's not something you want to say. That is not something you want to say. You understand? You don't want to say that, you find a way to protect your employee. A lot of us here, we are working people, right? So if you are working and somebody is working under you, right? You are in charge of somebody. You're going to find a way to protect them without, I said you find a way to protect your employee. If you think that he's been unfairly treated, you find a way to protect your employee without splitting the fan base. Do them something, man. It just, I don't know. Sports to the bone. Why are you not talking about that stupid decision by Chase and Coach Sammy to play Warwican after Australia leave out their world-class spinner only in cricket, things like this? I spoke about it leading up to the test. I spoke about it during the test. I can't keep on talking about it. And the funny thing about it, men rights activists, funny thing about it, prior to the game, skipper came on and said, boy, there's some grass on the wicket, so they think they're going to go with an extra spinner. I don't know what he meant by that, because usually I would think, I could be wrong, I don't know what he was thinking, but usually with grass and you want to go with extra seamer. But I spoke about it before the game, spoke about it during the game, and I spoke about it after the game, right, in my video that I did after. So, I'm probably not going to talk about it every day. When I saw the team that was selected in the new, we knew we were in trouble making runs, says Davis. All right. Sports to the bone. Warwican wasn't even needed. He barely bowled. Also, what a waste. I didn't even have him in the team for the first test. First test, no. And then from what you see happened in the first test, second test definitely was a no. Third test, it don't make any sense. There are a lot of things that they have done over the past few months that I have to keep on questioning, As I said, I want to give them time to show what they're doing, but personally, I don't see a whole lot of things that they're doing make sense, let me. It takes 11 deliveries to dismiss a team, or probably 10. They might even be rubbish deliveries. If you search diligently, you might find guys around. The same can't be said. Okay. Well, Mario, we're still here. We're here holding down the fort, sending up our blood pressure about West Indies as usual. We got batsmen that can stick it out. Sammy just didn't pick them. I guess they don't fit into the role or the system that he's looking to put forward. And that's the thing, I am okay with a man coming up and saying that, boy, this is his system, this is his role, this is what he want, this is how he wants players to play. I don't have a problem with people doing that, but over a period of time, if it's not working and people looking at you, then you have to expect that people look at you. As I said, I don't think it's fair to ask him or to chop him after the first test series, but a lot these decisions, they were his decisions. And one thing I know, after getting those guys to come and play test cricket, if you decide to he's not even going to do that, but let us see. And it doesn't get any easier. I think we have India and New Zealand, so these same guys we has identified to play in these roles, they will have 2 more series, I would assume, to play, right? They have 2 more series to play to see if they are mastering the roles that he has given them. Everyone should chill out after one series. How can you decide to fire someone? Fire him for who? We've been losing for 30 years. Give them man a break. You see, that's the thing, I agree that you don't fire a man after one series, but there are people out there with their opinions, and one of the things that some people, the fact that he's the man that's calling the shots apparently in terms of selecting, and decided to move away from the guys that played that test series against Australia at home. People are looking at him, but I don't know. I can't see how you fire somebody. I mean, I don't have any coaching experience at that level, but as a coach, speaking as a coach, I don't see how you fire somebody after one series. I'm St. Lucian, and what Shallow said was nonsense. One man has too much power, too much politics in West Indies Cricket Board. Boy, Maxwell, I've been preaching it. That boy, it was unfortunate that Dr. Shallow said that. As much as it might be true, and you leave fans to have debate about those things. You back your employee without really saying them sort of things. It takes 10 deliveries to dismiss a team. They might even be rubbish deliveries. On the other hand, batting is an art that must be learned. Yeah, that is true. That is true. And that is why if we have a man getting out to a rubbish delivery or a delivery or a good delivery, but he played a rubbish shot, that is why we will question his technique or question his art we're talking about, right? So bowlers will bowl, but batsmen, you still have to look at them. The same batsman we are talking about, I watch cricket and they would not make any difference. Yeah, Oran, they probably wouldn't have made much of a difference. Yes, probably wouldn't have made much of a difference. But I guess people are looking at momentum. Having played against Australia. Remember, we drew that series against Australia. We drew the series against Pakistan. Remember, we beat Pakistan at home to draw that series. And it's not like we had any world class or world beaters in that team, but the fact that they drew against Australia, drew against Pakistan at home, and these two game series were away. You understand? And then we make a lot of changes, and then something like this happened. That's why people are really scrutinizing it like that. I think that people understand that we probably wouldn't have won with those guys, but the fact that we drew against those two teams in their backyard, and then something like this happened, people will definitely feel a way about it. Anderson should have never debuted this series. So this is the thing. Kevlin Anderson averaging 44.44. He was selected, and he was needed, so they gave him the opportunity. You understand? We can. I mean, the only way they wouldn't have given him the chance is if they had other senior players there. I can understand sometimes when you have young players coming in, you don't want to put them out in front of a certain fire. Tayshaur and Shandapal, if I'm not mistaken, made his debut against Australia. I don't remember clearly, but I think he made 47. I am one of them that was calling for Anderson because he did what he was asked in the championship. So, logically, I thought they would give him the go. But I don't know how many people I've said this several times. I don't know how many people paid attention to the two 4-day games that we played against South Africa. I even did a video complaining after that. He was batting, looked good until he just started running down the wicket and start doing some stuff that wasn't good. And I could see that the technique needed working on. You understand? So it was a tough series for him. Hopefully, he will find a way to improve what's going on there. That is why you need coaches. That is why you need coaches to help. And there are things that you would expect players to learn and to understand before getting to the international level. But that is where our cricket is. The players are probably not mastering certain things before getting to the international level. So, it was a rough series. Well, it was a rough couple of outing for him. So, hopefully he will improve. There's a reason that he has outscored other players, right? Some people call for other players from the championship, but if you look, he and them played in the same championship and he outscored them, right? So even though he looked totally out of place in, going up against Australia, I am hoping that they will help him to fix what's going on and we can move on. Too much power. We have chosen him as the man to lead the revival of our cricket. Phil was coach of all three teams. Here is nobody. You see, that is the thing. We have to listen. We have to listen and understand. Phil Simmons wasn't selecting the players. I mean, as head coach, I assume he would have an input, but there was a committee. You understand, with Desmond Haynes being the lead selector. I think that is what most people are referring to. You understand? Teams will have coaches all format, yes. But I don't know. You have an all format coach and you have a man that is also the lead, the man selecting the players. You understand? The thing is, it's almost like a football manager. It's almost like a football manager, right? I don't know how many of you watch football like that, but what you'll find is that in the English Premier, whichever top flight league, you'll find that the manager will be the person identifying the players, because he's the one coming up and saying that these are the roles, or this is the system that I am playing, so these are the players that I want. You understand? So this is what seems to be happening right now. Right? He's an all format coach. As I said, I'm willing to give him opportunity to prove himself. But I don't know about being the man. I don't know about being the all format coach and the lead selector at the same time. I don't know how that works. Sports to the bone. I am West Indies fan. How you can play a spinner on a great top. Sammy have to go before India bowl us out for 10. So all right. So David, who do you suggest take over from Sammy, and who do you suggest will prevent us from getting bowled out for 10? Who do you suggest? Who do you suggest in that situation there? Sports to the bone. The last T20 series we played, we lost. I think he said the last T20 series we played, we lost with the same squad. Moti Chase, Lewis Hetmeyer wasn't performing. Why pick them again and give someone else a chance? Like who? I mean, these guys is basically the same squad. It's basically the same squad that you're talking about that has moved us from 9th all the way down to, I mean, we were 3rd and then I think we're about 5th or 6th now. It's the same squad. You understand? So I think he's trying to keep the unit together and to get them to play games. You understand? Who are some players out there that we really and truly think should be in this T20 squad? I see people calling for players that obviously people would be looking at the CPL and looking at different leagues to pick them. Who are some of the players that you think should have gotten a call? To be fair, Sammy also had a rocky start to T20 as a coach after losing to Scotland and knocked out the World Cup by Dutch with Poor and Ross, etc. Still rallying around the boys. Yep. That is why I'm saying, we have to give him a little bit of time. Regardless of whether or not Sammy should go or stay, what Shallow said reflects an example of very poor leadership. If you tie this back to the world of work, it can also be considered favoritism. Yep. So that's the thing, TKR supporter. When I was making the video this morning, and that is how I do my thing. You see, sometimes when I see something like that happen, whenever I see a statement like that, whenever I see something like that happen, that I want to give my opinion, I just go ahead and make the video. I don't check social media to see what other people are saying. I don't check any other platform, right? I look at Sportsmax or wherever to get my content, but I don't check cricket groups. I don't watch others, other platforms like that. When I see things like these, I want to come and give my opinion without it being swayed or without it being influenced by other people. So when I saw that comment, I was like, what on earth? So that is why I didn't even look at any other post to see what other people are saying about it, because I'm like, I have to give my natural opinion on this, because he comes across to me as a smart guy in terms of book wise. So, I don't know how even if your boy have a feeling like that, and even if you're quote unquote from a small island also, and you think that is something that's happening, as a leader, you just not say them things, man. You know, and I mean, I see some people coming out and say that boy, he has a right to say it, and he was right. I don't know. All we do as black people is criticize our own. We were competitive for all 3 matches with chances to win. We just couldn't bat. And that is why we are talking about it. Did you not hear us, not even talking about myself, did you not hear the entire cricketing Caribbean commending the bowlers, talking about how the bowlers are good? What is wrong with identifying the issues and saying the issues need to be fixed? That is my problem, you know, with when it comes on to fans. We identify the good parts and we say, well, we rave and we rave and we rave and we rave. The bowling is so good. What is wrong with identifying the issues and saying the issues need to be fixed? That is a problem that we have, you know. That is a problem that we have. We believe that if we are critiquing something, it only means that we are tearing down. It doesn't go like that. Everybody cannot get a gold medal. Everybody cannot get a gold medal. You know, it reminds me of this sort of thing that they are coming up with now in school sports day. Soon get back to it, not straying too far. In sports day at schools, where everybody get a participation medal. It don't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You have to learn to deal with life. Somebody come first, second, and third, them win. You have to build character. You don't finish in the medal position, you don't get a medal. You have to build your character. So it's the same thing here. You know, identifying issues, it's critical. I don't even know how I don't know if even know I answer something like that, because as fans watching cricket and being at a level, we should understand that. All right, so this is my thing. This is my thing, and you know, this is just me answering you. You know, not teeing off on you or anything. Vi, this is my thing. Why don't we have an issue then when the captain and the coach come out and say that, boy, the bowling was good, but as a batting group, we did not fire. We need to get our act together. We need to go out and score runs. Why don't we have a problem with those guys saying that? Why don't we? It's because we don't believe that the actual players are going up against guys that are from our country, right? But as soon as fans are saying, not saying that that's what you're doing here now, but as soon as fans are critiquing, the first thing that we can do is, oh, he's tearing down the players because he's not from here. He's tearing down the player because his hair is pretty. He's tearing down the players because his hair looks like mine. Just as how we can say, shout out to the bowlers, they were pretty good. If we don't identify problems, how do we fix problems? That's not how the world works. That's not how the world works. You understand? And you know, the world don't work like that at all. Yeah, man, that's not how the world works, you know. To be fair to those guys, they scored way more runs against Australia last series. Yep. But I guess Sammy will say, and them will say that, boy, it's a new role. They're adapting to the new role. Like, we made like 2 half centuries. He made like 2 half centuries. Oh, that again. I'm talking about Shandopal when I brought up his name. I don't remember. I'm seeing a future for King in Test cricket. I like Greaves. Just need to work more on his batting, else it would affect the team balance. Yeah, Andre, definitely need to work on his batting. But he's a good bowling option for us with those 3 seamers. But you know, as I say, need to work on the batting. Brandon King needs to go and play for the regional cricket, just like all of the other batsmen. We have only 3 people that are actually ready to really compete in Test cricket seriously. Everybody else need drastic improvement, and the 3 of them are 3 bowlers. The stock of all the batsmen who didn't play in the last Test rose simply because they weren't involved, says Ian. Tage made 50 on a couple of 40s against Australia in his debut series. Yeah, man, I remember him making 47, so it could have been 47, and as I said, probably a 50 and thing. Yeah. Our batting really failed us, but our bowlers did well. Congrats to our fast bowlers. Yeah. Big up, good night. I am England cricket fan, what is going on with West Indies? I am loving it, or you mean you are not loving it? Boy, this is where we're going to have a problem now in a Germany. And you say that you're loving it, and then you have a Liverpool jersey as your badge, and you have Liverpool in the name. Boy, we're not going green, you know, if you love the demise of West Indies cricket. But yeah, in seriousness though, a lot of things, we need to fix a whole lot of things, you know, from grassroots come up to school cricket to the under 19 level. You know, there are a lot of things that we need to work on, you know. Imagine how much stress the previous selection panel would have been if this had happened under the right Honorable Desmond Haynes. I mean, you know, Desmond Haynes, if you understand, remember some of the selections that was happening, you know, he was definitely building up. So I think it was time for change, but I still don't understand. I still think that we need a selecting committee. That's how I see it. You know, Sports to the Bone, if Chase don't start performing, he will be under the spotlight next year. 2026, in my book, I would put Seals as captain because Cummins was made captain and he wasn't no captain of no first team. All right, so this is the difference. This is the thing, especially this is the thing with especially replacing Craig Brathwaite as captain. Why they had to quote unquote go for somebody that is a senior player, even though he hasn't really captain. Pat Cummins, when he was made captain, you would remember that Steve Smith was still there. You know, Steve Smith was still there. Mitchell Stark, Nathan Lyon. You have guys like David Warner. All of these guys, even though some of them were out for a period of time, they had all of these senior players that were there to help him. You know, so I am not a big fan of pace bowlers being captains. I noticed something that can happen. Pat Cummins is doing it. The thing is, if you have a pace bowler being a captain, you have to have somebody reliable as a specialist batsman that is there to actually run things, right? Obviously, Pat Cummins is the captain and his decisions, I assume, will be final. But you need somebody that is a permanent member of the team that is not a pace bowler that will be there to help structure and guide things, especially if you are the leader of the bowling attack. You know, it's difficult to be dealing with the bowling, organizing the bowling group, working out the team, and if you don't have a strong support as a you know, supporting you as a vice captain or as a senior player. We don't have that. You understand? Our senior players don't perform well enough to stay long enough to help to make sure that the new players are fully settled. So, you know, it's a whole lot of thing going on there. King definitely got a future in test despite the brain, but in the field dismissal and umpire cause. I like his defense and attack approach. He looked to the best in a single innings from both teams. Yep, but he still needs to go and play. He needs to play a whole lot more red ball cricket, you know. Batsmen need a complete rework and need to build on their weakness. Yep. Get Justin Langer, one of the best coaches we have going around right now. Did pretty well for Australia and then they got rid of him. But not everybody will want their name to be associated with things that's not going too well, or if they are not going to be privy to certain facilities and certain equipment and all of that, right? So people might want to see West Indies come up and would want to be a part of it, but not everybody will get their name entangled with something, especially if they don't see a bright future anytime soon. But more players need to play county cricket. That's the thing. We're not performing at a level where county teams will pick our players. The bowlers are performing and county teams will always go for them. Hence, people like Jaden Seals, Shamar Joseph, Alzari Joseph, Kemar Roach, even though he's not in the team right now, and we see Anderson Philippi just got a contract. These guys will get county championship, will get a chance to go and play in county teams because they can actually help county teams to win games. You don't see some of the batsmen that the county teams bringing in. They're bringing in people like, look at even Pujara when he was dropped by India. It's those type of batsmen they're bringing in who is a I mean, we can continue to say that because we know it's going to help our team. But looking at it from the county team side, how is it going to benefit them? They probably have youngsters that will outperform our players that it's better for them to invest in. When our guys start performing at a level, that is, you know, we are fans and we want the best for our team, but we have to be able to look at it from the other point of view. Listen, when our T20 players are performing, teams will come for them, right? When they're not performing, nobody pay them any mind. When our bowlers are performing, county teams will come for. When the guys start batting, look at Shea Hope now. So Shea Hope was performing extremely well, or has been performing extremely well in ODI cricket. And prior to him really landing himself in the T20 thing, he was in England playing, right? I think he scored the last game that he played, he scored at 80 odd. He was there playing and was looking to revive his test career, right? But he got a chance in T20 and he has really and truly taken it, right? So county teams are not going to invest in batsmen that not going to help them any at all. It will help us, yes, but they're not going to pay these guys to come and do nothing, you know? Is what that Silver do if you can say, see back the squad. Listen, Tax City, listen. I said this on here before. Joshua De Silva, in my opinion, when he was dropped, I didn't have any problems. Man went and scored runs, and they decided that they are not going in his direction. But they played 2 4-day games against South Africa A, and they didn't even select him. When I said that, more than one people on here said that, you know, obviously he's already in the team because he's, you know, they're just giving him a rest. So I don't know what I'm saying, so I need to be quiet. So I am probably not an expert on that because I would assume that if you just have a man who was a vice captain, wasn't performing, and he got dropped and he went back and scored so many runs or so much runs in the championship, I would assume that if you select 2 squads to play West Indies A cricket, you're going to look, I would assume that you're going to get a go. You understand? But obviously they had other ideas in terms of keepers and decided not to use him at all. So I don't know. If the coach can't do it himself, how can he teach the players? Send the coach back to school. We must have selection panel. So if he doesn't like you, then you won't play cricket. Again, so this is my thing, Maxwell. This is my thing. I have always been one of them. That's it, you know. That's it, you know. I like the idea of splitting justice. I have said this several times. An excellent player doesn't equal an excellent coach. A bad player doesn't necessarily mean you'll be a bad coach, right? So just as how we as fans believe that we know how to fix certain things and what needs to happen, and we haven't played at a high level, you understand? We have to understand that some people that they weren't very good as players, they will turn out to be good coaches, and some people that weren't good, that were good as players, they won't coach because they cannot communicate. You know, I do agree that when you weren't a good player, you know, when you weren't a good player, if you weren't a good player and you start coaching and it's not going well, it's going to be easier for people to say, boy, look at what he did when he was a player. It wasn't good. So, you know, it's going to be easier. But I will say that, you know, being a coach, and there are several examples that you can look at to find why I said that. You know, Sports Football, the same team that beat Australia and the coaching staff. All right, so you see, you're going back for the same team and coaching staff. All right. Sports Football, why the West Indies selectors treating Mayers, Allen Odin like this, and Zari should be rested for the series since we're not playing Seals on Shamar. I mean, you're saying that seeing that we're not playing Seals or Shamar, Alzari should be rested. I don't know how that, you know, I don't know if because you're resting those two mean that you rest this one. I understand that Alzari probably needs to get some rest because of all the workload, yes, but Alzari has been a mainstay in the T20 team, not Shamar and Seals. Fabian Allen isn't making the team because we have 2 left-arm spinners that are performing better than him. We have batsmen, the role that he plays, he's a finisher. He's not going to get in the team over Romario Shepherd. He's not getting in the team over Sheffield Rutherford. And obviously Hetmeyer is doing his thing, so he's not getting in the team over Hetmeyer, right? So he's a left arm spinner. We have Goody Kishmoti and what name? Akil Hussein. Those two left arm spinners, they are outperforming him, so it doesn't get in as a left arm spinner, right? And obviously it doesn't get in as a batsman over those guys that I called, right? So it would be unless you're going to drop one of those left arm spinners for him, right? Or you are dropping one of the seam bowling all-rounders, right? So I don't know. How do you get him in? Odin Smith cannot make the team. Odin Smith cannot make the team over Romario Shepherd, right? Who else do we have? He cannot make the team over Matthew Ford, right? Obviously, if he works on his fitness and get back to a certain level, he will probably get in. But Jason Hola is still there. He's not going to bowl better than Jason Hola. Jason Hola has been batting okay recently, right? He's probably not a long-term solution, Hola, but are we not following these guys and seeing that some of them can hardly bowl 2 or 3 overs? Kyle Mayers, he's probably not too far from getting an opportunity again. You know, he's still playing his T20 cricket and thing, but you know, I think they are working with Shea Hope and Brandon King as the openers right now. Johnson Charles is no longer in the squad, so probably they will be looking to bring him back in again, and he's left-handed, so you know that's an option also. What I believe is if Floyd cannot bring the batsmen up to par, Sammy need to step in and have a talk to him or seek alternatives. What are your thoughts on the T20 squad? It's going to take a lot of work to bring these batsmen up to par, right? I don't know. My thing is, if you have guys that are 27, 28, 29, and they're still doing the same thing that they used to do at 18 or 19, it's basically a lost cause. It might sound away, but you know that's how I see it. I don't have a problem with the T20 squad. Based on what we have available, I don't have a problem with the T20 squad. Based on who we have out there. Yeah, I don't necessarily have a problem with the T20 squad. I'm happy to see that Judea Blades and what's his name, Joel Andrew are around the team, but I don't know if I really and truly want to baptize these guys in so much T20 cricket. You understand? I don't know if they are going to play, but you know, I want to see these guys playing actual good quality cricket. But the good thing is they will be training with the squad and things like that. So, you know, let us see. I don't have a problem with it. Da Silva being the only recognized keeper was the main reason for him in the team since Imlak show up. No hope he can only be back as a top 4. I've been saying he needs to bat higher. Right, I hear you. I'm not even sure he has control players in the T20 because the team played freely when he was not there for the T20 series in Ireland. The one game we scored. People from the other islands here, do you regularly pass boys playing cricket in your streets or in some open areas? That no longer happens here in Jamaica. These guys don't really like this game. You see, I think this is something that I've said several times, even probably after we lost the 3rd game, I said this. The talented players are the athletic kids. They are no longer drawn to cricket because it's not as attractive. I mean, you have some countries that they are still pushing them out. But I remember when I was in Jamaica going to primary school, if we didn't have a tennis ball or anything, we put gravel, you know, regular pebble. We'd put pebbles in the little chubby buckle, squeeze in the top, and that would be our cricket ball, right? We used to use bicycle tube, make cricket, plastic. We used to do all sorts of things because, you know, I mean, West Indies, we weren't dominant at the time, but it was still attractive. So guys aren't attracted to cricket too much these days. A lot of them, they are going towards football, basketball, track and field. I'm from Jamaica, so I can speak about Jamaica, right? And I've said it before. I used to coach at the primary school level and high school level in Jamaica. And I remember coaching guys playing kiddies cricket, doing under 12 cricket with them in grade six. And I would see them a few years after, and I'm like, are you playing cricket in high school? Coach, you want to see a football, the thing there right now, a tracks the thing there. You understand? And they see it as a way out, so you can't even to blame them. And that is where you need investment into kiddies cricket. You understand? And those little age group cricket. You don't really pass and see people playing cricket. I am from St. Ann in Jamaica, and I remember as we go home from school, man, as Sunday as church over is cricket non-stop. And it would be the same thing throughout different parts. You only have certain schools now, traditional cricket schools that are still there. Guys from the other islands can contribute to this. But you have schools like Manchester, Stats, that's St. Elizabeth Technical. You have schools like Excelsior, Garvey Mosia. You still have probably like York Castle, Homewood. You have a few schools that will be that they are still producing cricketers, but not at that level anymore. Power and control can cause one's ego to be inflated, which can lead to pride, arrogance, right? We all need to be careful how we posture ourselves when we assume or are given positions of authority. And that's the thing with Sheldon. Sheldon is always bringing across some valuable points and some stuff that, it's definitely true that we cannot overlook, definitely true. Same as to how we praise the bowlers, the batsman needs to be bashed. We have to recognize the good and the bad, and that is how sports going on. I've said it. That's how you deal with sports. You understand? I mean, you identify positives, you identify negatives that needs to improve. I personally will not be a blind follower right now. I cannot do it. You understand? And I try not to cover only negative stuff. I will highlight the positives. But if there are things that need to be fixed, I cannot be putting out a program and behaving as if I am like blindfold over the eyes. We have to understand that that's now, we have to get to a level where we are able to reason, Sports to the bone. The last time Joel played, he was lost against spin bowling. So why am I hearing people saying he good at playing spin bowling like the people on West Indies selectors have short-term memory? I mean, getting an opportunity once or twice and not really doing well against quality spinners doesn't mean that you don't show the temperament. What they are saying that he shows good temperament, his technique is not the worst when it comes on to facing spin. So, they are looking to really have him in the camp where they can continue to work on him. His temperament isn't bad when it comes on to spin bowling, if we're being honest, right? It doesn't necessarily mean he's going to go and hit 6 sixes off the spinners, right? Off Adam Zappa or any of them guys, but, I can understand what they are saying. He has the ability to use his feet, get to the pitch of the ball, he can sweep the ball, all these little things. I guess you're talking about his temperament and thing, and, ability to just rotate and so. To be honest, the biggest issue is not our talent, because we have talented batsmen, but throughout the whole series, I have yet to see one batsman bat like he cared, like he representing his country. And they didn't earn it. They didn't earn that spot. A lot of them didn't earn the spot, right? They didn't earn that spot, so they probably don't remember what it is like to really go out there and bat like that. So the two Sheldons link up, eh? Agreed, we have a lot of talent, just none to nurture them. I believe this happened because a lot of the big name seniors retired almost at the same time without grooming any successor. But the thing is, some of the senior players, they were there, and I think we have to phase in people. You understand? We have to phase in people. We have to phase in people in all different formats. Just making drastic changes, it's not something that are going to work. Sports Bone, I believe it have to do with the players' mentality and our laid-back attitude. The only way things will change is when we really understand who we are as a nation. All right. Sports to the bone. What happened to Paul, Cornwall, Thomas, like they retired from West Indies cricket like Puran? So Kimo Paul, I remember he was coming back well, if I'm not mistaken, in the, was it the last championship? But I don't know what's happening with him, but we know how injuries and thing has hampered him over the years. Raheem Cornwall now. Obviously, Rastan Chase is the off spinner who they are working with. Plus, we have two other spinners in the white ball format that they are performing well. They are ranked. Last time I checked, they were ranked inside the top 10 of the in T20 bowling. Probably it has changed now. Hussein and Moti. Probably it has changed. I'm not sure. So those guys are doing well, right? O'Shane Thomas, we I've said this several times, fitness and thing, and he's not going to get in over any of our seamers now. It might be interesting if cricket legends like Viv Richards, Brian Lara, and Clive Lloyd consider a bold move to take over the West Indies cricket board. But that they can't really do that. They can't really do that, because remember, it's a business, and all of these things that it's they have legal stuff that they have to go through and all of that. But I've said it before. People might think that I am being rude or whatever, but some of these same legends that we are talking about, they will offer themselves as advisors. They will offer themselves as mentors, but they will never ever take up a coaching role, which means that they have to be with the team almost 24/7. The same T20 franchise that these guys talk about, these former players talk about, they too are reaping benefits from it, because what? They will go and be mentors. They will go and be coaches, because they can coach here for 2 months, go and coach for 2 months, commentate for 2 months, commentate, and you can't blame them. They are looking to maximize their earnings, right, off their skills, right? So they will never say it, though. They will never say it. Other people covering cricket might be scared to say it, but I have said it several times. Some of these guys who we know that can help, right? They will not. They will not. Even if CWI offer them a contract, they will not, because they are going to look at going around across the world, commentating and coaching, and you cannot blame them, because they are doing what they need to do for a living, right? We all leave from this job to that job to get to get better pay and things like that. All right. I actually don't have an issue with Shallow's comments. I think he responded in kind to the scanting comments against the new plan. Can we acknowledge that nepotism he describes exists? And that is the thing, Steve. That is the thing. We have, I think a lot of people have agreed. We have people that will still say and do things because they believe that a man from this part should not be running the cricket, or they believe that somebody from their part of the world is better. We are not going to get away from that. People are just like that, right? People are going to think that somebody from my place would do a better job, even if you have a man doing a good job. And that is why when we rose from 9th to 3rd in T20 cricket, you hardly hear anybody talking about it, because they are not happy. Some people weren't happy. What I'm saying is, as the leader of an organization, you don't say that. And as I said, that's my opinion. I could be wrong. I have been wrong several times. But that's my opinion, and I am standing on it, 10 toes down. As a leader, you don't say that. When you are in charge of a team that is representing the entire region, and you employ a coach from one part of the region, you don't say something like that that can split the fan base, even if you think that. You find a way to protect your coach. You come out and say, listen, we have a new plan. We have a strategic system in place. It is the first test series. I think it's really unfair to really call for the coach's head. And you left it. That's my opinion. As I said, I've been wrong several times, so this could be another time. When West Indies batting was strong during the days of Lara, Shandapal, Gale, etc., the bowling was weak. And the bowling is strong, the batting is extremely weak, right? We can coach one skill at a time. Tough, eh? The pitch was more bowlers friendly because the Australian batsmen struggled as well. The Australian batsmen sure did struggle. But did you see the way how some of our batsmen got out? We're not talking about Plus, look at how look at how our batsmen got out, and at how we had to work to get the Australians out. I'm not gonna say one or two of the Australians didn't throw their wickets away, but look at how majority of our batsmen got out and how majority of theirs got out. Our guys had to work them over to get them out. Right? We didn't necessarily see their guys coming down and leaving a lone ball, pitching dead in line with middle stump. We didn't see guys come on their team coming down and making big lofty drive when they're already 2 wickets down. All of them things that we just need to work on, we have 0 senior players that can mentor the up and coming players. Everything seemed to be learned from from your own mistakes. Yep. That is the thing. We don't have senior players who are established and still performing that can mentor these guys, right? So as soon as we have youngsters coming through, we might have to take out senior players and put in the youngsters, because these quote-unquote senior players, they are not performing. So that is the thing. I understand what you're saying, though. That is how you build. You have to take time and bring in people. Why you guys did not prepare flat pitches? That is not something that I could answer. I wasn't privy to what they were doing. But my thing is, our bowling is the best. Our bowling is our strongest. Prepare something that suits our bowlers, right? Obviously, if we prepare something that suits our bowlers, then it means that the Australians will benefit also. But prepare a flat pitch, Australia probably would bat one time in every game, right? So that is how I see it, Mm-hmm. Sports board, we have a good bowling attack, but we need backup instead. All 3 of them are unavailable because of injury or family. How about Lane, Thorne, Blades, backup fast bowlers? I mean, you have guys that are working. Johan Lane was just called up. Jediah Blades, as we know, is there. I am a fan of Isaiah Thorne, but he wasn't even able to do much in the last championship and thing for Guyana, so he will definitely be looking to hit the ground running in the Super 50 in the regional championship, and if he gets an opportunity in T20s, right, he will be looking to get himself back up to that level. But obviously, we need backup players, which I think we have a few guys right now. What we need to do is find people that can bat. West Indies has the talent, but not being developed into world-class performers. Cricket is played from primary stage, but they don't always have quality coaches. That is true. That is true, TK. I can tell you that is true. And talking from personal, I don't like to always throw personal thing in to make it seems as if I'm, behaving as if I've been through it all. But having coached at the primary level, I remember when I just left school in 2015, right? And I was working in an area where not a lot of cricket was being played, just mostly football, but you had established cricket teams, and we put together an under 13 team, and joining the competition for the first time, I could go ahead and win that competition, right? Simply because there were teams there that they were there for a little while, yes, but as I said, probably not qualified quality coaches, and people are always saying that it's easy to find the problem, but why not come up with solutions? I have given the solution before. Right, I can only talk about what I know. There are a lot of people leaving high school. Well, not a lot, but you have people leaving high school studying the sciences that are going to become physical education teachers slash coaches and stuff like that. Going to GC Foster College in Jamaica. We have people from all over the Caribbean, all over the world going to that school. You have a course there called, you have a cricket course there, right? You have to do foundation in cricket. Then you have to do cricket 1, cricket 2, if you want to major in cricket. What CWI needs to do is to strike up a partnership with these places. I don't know these type of places. I don't know if we have others around the Caribbean, but probably not to that level. But strike up a partnership with these institutions and make sure that the guys that were going to eventually go and coach people or keep PE classes, they actually know what they're doing when it comes on to cricket. You understand? Make sure CWI is not hard. Sign a memorandum of understanding with the sports college. You understand? Make sure that that players that are in the going in as PE teachers, they have to learn this, because at some point they will have to do PE in classes, or they might end up coaching. At least they can know what they are doing. You understand? But if it is not there as a course that is sanctioned by CWI, it's not going to be serious. You understand? It's not going to be serious. So there are a lot of things that can be done to improve the thing, but I don't know, Sinclair, Moti, and Imlak need to be in the team, since in the last year the first was sticking it out and give us some runs. All right, who are Sinclair, Moti, and Imlak? Who are the guys that you are replacing for those three? Wilson, who are the guys that you are replacing with those three? What about Kyle Mears? We can't get in the team for any of the three formats. I spoke about Kyle Mears a little earlier. I totally agree with you, Mears. I spoke about Mears a little earlier. West Indies batsmen need to play more positively. I have sports about Moti and Chase wasn't performing in the T20 or ODI, you forget, and Russell retirement leave a spot available for somebody. Yeah, a few. If you have Moti probably not performing in a couple of games, he's still quality. He's still quality. Chase, the thing is that Chase is probably not scoring a lot of runs, but if we look at his overs, the thing is, we have to know if we are picking him as a bowler. If we are going two spinners, then we probably go we go Hussain or Moti. If we go Hussain and probably Chase, because Chase, he will give you 4 economical overs. The problem is that they like to try and bat him at number 3 or 4 and them kind of places, and you probably not to work out. When is Hola scheduled to return? Jason Hola is in the squad. Jason Hola is in the squad. I said I was going to talk about the squad. So the squad, just to remind you, Shea Hope, Joel Andrew, Jediah Blades, Rastan Chase, Matthew Ford, Shimran Hetmeyer, Jason Hola, Akil Hussain, Alzari Joseph, Brandon King, Evan Lewis, Goody Kishmoti, Ravman Powell, Andre Russell, Sheffin Rutherford, Romaro Shepard. Jason Hola is in the squad. He's there, man. He's in the squad. All right, my people. I will be wrapping up pretty soon. But let me just get some more comments. We beat up Sammy, Coley, Simmons, and everybody, but not the grassroots coaches. Aren't they the ones coaching and giving West Indies the same below average players over and over? That's why the problems start. And that's probably why CWI need to invest more in it. You understand? They need to invest more in at that level, and things like that. And they will tell you that they are giving out, they are providing this gears and providing this and that. But I can tell you, take it from me, I have been out of that system for probably 3 years now. But take it from me, cricket at the grassroots level, I can tell you about Jamaica. I don't know about the other places, but Jamaica usually produce some cricketers, right? Cricket at the grassroots level is getting nowhere close to the funding or the help that other sports are actually getting. Being a main sport, not talking about minor sports like probably tennis and badminton and everything, but if you're talking about football, cricket, track and field, and basketball, if you look at it, they're not, and I'm not guessing, there are some things that I will come and I'll give my opinion, which I'm not sure. This I know for sure. I taught and I coached and I there for 7 years before I left Jamaica, right? 7 years I coached in the school system. I was a teacher there and I coached cricket there. And I also coached football and track and field. So I can compare and I can tell you that the investment is nowhere close, right? And schools will also not invest, right? Because they don't see any return. So if the people who are in charge don't come up and provide certain things, the school itself will not help because they don't see how they're going to get any return, right? They see how they can get return from Manning Cup, Doncaster Cup, Champs, and them sort of things, right? And as I said, I'm not guessing. I know for sure. Sports in the Bone, we dropped 10 catches. Was it only 10? I remember 7 in the first game. Well, at least it was only 10. It sounded bad in a David, but it was only 10 after 7 in the first game. But you are right, though. We definitely need to step up in terms of those basic things. I love to see Russell play more T20 for the West Indies. He is a great player. At the age of 37, I don't have a problem with him playing franchise cricket right now. Probably I don't know how they just abruptly changed the plan. The plan was for him to play in the T20 World Cup, but probably it doesn't fit in any of the roles. Maybe he's not a part of the he doesn't have a role in the new setup. The only to fix our batting is to start from kiddies cricket with the best coaches because it's more harder to teach older players set in their ways. Exactly. If you don't have good quality coaches coaching the players, they're not going to learn. You understand? You know, you have some guys working probably not right at the grassroots level that has been helping. You know, you have Kenny Benjamin, and these guys who have been working for years. You understand? Andre Coley, before he really got, you know, before he was picked up at that level, he was coaching in Jamaica and doing a lot of work and thing, but at Lucas Cricket Club and different places around the island. You know, but a lot of the top coaches there, a lot of people, and they're just not into it. Right now, I can tell you people, I know of good quality cricket coaches who could do well at the kiddies level, but they are not doing it because it doesn't make any sense. You understand? In terms of there's not much investment in it and it's not beneficial to them. So these are the things that, you know, you have to fix these things. You understand? You have to fix these things. Our coaches are not good, and that is the issue. Only Coley is an okay coach. And Casanova, as I said, I've been through the system, and I can tell you, you know, I've been at some games and some things that I see the coach telling some of the players. You know, let me leave that alone. Shout out from Nevis. You have a big fan base here. Keep up. What you saying? I have a big fan base over there. What I say? All right. Shout out to everybody from Nevis. Shout out. Thanks for the support. Clive Lloyd and Viv are grandfathers. One 80, the other 70s. I mean, once they're still able to reason, they might be able to logically reason. They might be able to come up with good suggestions. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go there and demonstrate and show what needs to be done, but you know, in terms of thought process and stuff like that. Sportsbone, how about opening the batting with King and Mayers, Intes and Rutherford 3, Da Silva 4 and 5, Alec Greaves 7, Chase 8, Shamar, Alzari and Seals. I'm not going with that 11, but I hear you. West Indies fans are known for their cricket knowledge and passion, having witnessed greatest. I think I read this comment a little earlier, right? Yeah, I read that comment already earlier. These sort of pitches is our best way of winning matches, to be honest, because our batting is terrible. Just so happened we were playing against the number one team. Mm-hmm. What up, Sportsbone? Long time I miss your live stream. Over there. Well, Jacobs, most things are right, you know. Just same old. Here talking about West Indies cricket, pretending as if I know everything. Same old. Guys, the problem with West Indies cricket is not lack of talent. There are many issues out or control, and that mitigate against our development. We keep forgetting. Laura said it well. I mean, Steve, you know, if we don't repeat it every day or in every comment that we make, doesn't mean that we don't know. There are a lot of issues out there, man. There are a whole lot of issues, you know. But yeah. Question, Sportsbone, how West Indies president is handling the president of West Indies and run as a candidate for election in St. Vincent. I'm not sure about that in terms of election and all of that. I'm not sure. I didn't know anything about that, so you know I can't comment on that. Yeah, I cannot comment on that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if he's running for something or what, so I don't know. I can't comment. Style, if Clive Lloyd wants to assist in Windies cricket, he can get a job in the coaching staff. All right. We dropped 13 catches, not 10, says Campbell. All right. West Indies past players need to get a program to talk to those players. That's the thing, Jacobs. They will talk to them, but talking to these players, I don't know. I don't know because, you know, boy, sports to the bone. Philo Wallace is running for president of Bajan Cricket. I was listening to him on Sportsmax. Not sure if you saw that video. If you were to take on him, get the G and see the Bible. Philo Wallace. No, I didn't see the. I haven't seen the interview, but I definitely know who Philo Wallace is, man. Whenever I see his stuff up, I listen to him. Yeah, man. I listen to him. I didn't know that he's running. Darren Sammy is not a good choice to be the test ball coach. I disagree with the president, says Jacobs. All right. Hey, Sports Boom, what's up? Been a minute. I am very late. Sammy got the president boy back in as he for Grassroot. The youth are not as interested as before. They take away school tape ball tournaments. All right. Clive Lawrence, yeah, I think I read that one earlier. Sports to the Bone. I would like to see a special show with a special guest host, Mr. Cricket Forum or Sports Edition, editing Caribbean podcast. Rating gonna blow up. Do you know? Yeah, I know of those guys. But I just try to just do what I'm doing. You know, I just try to do what I'm doing. I definitely know of those channels. I don't really worry about ratings or subscribers. I don't really worry about that. I don't really worry about it. You know, there are other things that I could have done to really get it going, but I don't really remember. This is just a thing that I do in my spare time. I don't really worry about that. You understand? And sometimes there are certain opinions that people share that you know of that you probably don't share, that you know. So yeah. But I know of them. They support West Indies cricket. They do a lot of cricket content. So you know, if I am not up, that is definitely those are some platforms that you guys can go and check them out. Okay. I guess when I see something probably official like that, I'll make a comment. But I usually try to stay away from politics if it's not directly link to West Indies cricket. I mean, you're asking about West Indies cricket and regular politics, but you know. Question before, how you feel about ESPN going shut down? It's actually Sportsmax that is shutting down. I definitely I'm a fan of Sportsmax. I get a lot of my stuff from there that I would come and report on and discuss on. You know, so it's really sad that they are going, you know. They have some good journalists over there, actual journalists, not people like myself that just love the game and come and talk about it, or just come and talk about sports in general. They have people over there that, you know, they have been doing this for years, and, you know, they put out good, credible information. So it's really sad to see them winding down like that, you know. Yeah, man. Yeah, but it's that. But yeah, we're going to leave it right here for now, my viewers and subscribers. Thank you all for the support as per usual. Thank you all for coming on. Thank you for sharing your opinions. You know, we probably did not agree on a lot of things, but this is why we have this platform here, you know, where you can come on and share your opinions, and, you know, and we can talk. So that is basically it for now. You know, I'm gonna leave it right here. Thank you all for coming on, my people. Big up on yourself. Stay safe. Watch on yourself on the road. Big up and blessings, everybody.